Have you ever felt like your computer isn't truly yours anymore? Between constant updates, bloated software, and the unsettling feeling that someone is tracking your every move, it's no wonder many people are moving away from Windows. Today, I want to discuss why people are leaving Windows for Linux, with privacy being a major driving factor. Let's start with a simple question. How much do you really know about what your operating system does in the background? On Windows, it's not just running apps and keeping things stable. It's collecting tons of data from your search history and app usage to your location and speech patterns. Windows constantly sends this information back to Microsoft. They call it telemetry and claim it's for improving your experience. But the reality is you have no choice in the matter. Even if you try to disable data sharing in the settings, some of it still happens. Think about it. You paid for the software, you paid for the computer, and yet your data is being mined as if you're the product. This is not only invasive, it's exploitative, and people are starting to realize it. This is where Linux comes in. Unlike Windows, Linux doesn't collect your data, doesn't send it to some big corporation, and doesn't force you to agree to long, unreadable terms of service that compromise your privacy. Linux is built on openness and transparency. It's open source software, meaning anyone can inspect the code and see exactly what it's doing. There are no hidden agendas, no secret tracking mechanisms. What you see is what you get. For many, this level of control comes as a breath of fresh air. On Linux, you're in charge. You decide what gets installed, how updates happen, and most importantly, how your data is handled. There's no spyware, no unnecessary telemetry, and no third-party trackers lurking in the background. It's just you and your machine. But privacy isn't the only reason people are switching. With Linux, you're also escaping the endless cycle of forced updates and performance issues that plague Windows. How often have you been in the middle of something important, only for your computer to restart because of an update you didn't ask for? On Linux, updates are entirely under your control. You choose when and if they happen. Then there's performance. Windows is notorious for slowing down over time, thanks to bloated software and background processes that eat up resources. Linux, however, is lightweight and efficient, breathing new life into older hardware. It's a great option for those who don't want to keep upgrading their devices just to keep up with an operating system. Of course, no discussion of Linux would be complete without mentioning cost. Windows and its associated software can be expensive, especially when you factor in things like Office subscriptions. Linux is completely free. You can download, install, and use it without paying a dime. And because it's open source, you're not locked into any corporate ecosystem. Now, I won't pretend that switching to Linux is all sunshine and rainbows. There's a learning curve, especially if you're used to Windows. Not all software is available for Linux, so you might need to find alternatives or workarounds. But here's the thing. More and more people are willing to make that effort because they're tired of being treated like data points instead of users. This shift isn't just about technology. It's about principles. People are choosing Linux because they want an operating system that respects their privacy, puts them in control, and isn't tied to the profit-driven agendas of big tech companies. It's a pushback against the status quo, a way of saying enough is enough. So, if you value privacy and freedom, or if you're just tired of the headaches that come with Windows, it might be time to give Linux a try. You don't have to commit right away. You can test it out alongside Windows or run it from a USB drive to see how it feels. Now, let's talk about how Linux actually works and how you can start using it. Linux is an operating system just like Windows or Mac OS, but it's built differently. Instead of being a single product owned by one company, Linux is a collection of projects maintained by a global community. The core of Linux is the kernel, which is the brain of the system. On top of that kernel, there are hundreds of different distributions, or distros, that package Linux in various ways. For beginners, Ubuntu and Linux Mint are great choices. They're simple to use, come with all the basics pre-installed, and have large communities that can help if you get stuck. If you're feeling adventurous, you can explore other options like Fedora, Arch Linux, or Pop! OS. To try Linux, all you need is a USB drive and some curiosity. Most Linux distributions let you create a live USB, which is a bootable version of the operating system that runs directly from the USB drive. This means you can test Linux without installing it on your computer. Simply download the Linux distribution you want to try, use a tool like Rufus to create the live USB, and boot your computer from the USB drive. Once you're comfortable, you can install Linux alongside Windows in a dual boot setup or replace Windows entirely. The installation process is straightforward, and the operating system will guide you step by step. Here's the best part. Once Linux is installed, it feels like you have a brand new PC. The interface is clean, fast, and highly customizable. You can choose from different desktop environments like GNOME, KDE Plasma, or XFCE to completely change the look and feel of your system. It's like redesigning your workspace exactly the way you want it. All the essentials are there. Web browsers, office suites, media players, and app stores full of free open source software. And because Linux is so efficient, your computer often feels faster and more responsive, even with older hardware. Switching to Linux isn't just about getting rid of Windows, it's about creating a system that works for you on your terms. You're not just using a different operating system, you're taking control of your computing experience. Before we wrap up, let's address something that often comes up in conversations about privacy. You might be thinking, why should I care about privacy? I have nothing to hide. This argument is more common than you might think, but it's also deeply flawed. Let me explain why privacy matters, even if you feel like you're not doing anything wrong. Privacy is about control, not just hiding secrets. Even if you don't care about companies tracking your actions, their power to influence your behavior is concerning. Targeted ads manipulate your choices and can impact your beliefs and decisions. Saying, "I have nothing to hide," assumes data collectors act in your best interest, but breaches expose sensitive info, risking your identity and privacy. What seems harmless now may be misused in the future as social norms change. Privacy is about safeguarding your future, not just protecting the present. When many people give up their data, it normalizes surveillance, affecting everyone's privacy. Decisions you make with data impact others as they didn't consent. Companies use personal data to create systems that affect people's access to credit and online content. By sharing your data, you're contributing to systems that may not prioritize everyone's best interests. Privacy is a fundamental right that ensures freedom, dignity, and control over your digital life. Choosing Linux is a step toward protecting that right by using technology that empowers rather than exploits you. Lastly, before ending this video, I'd like to mention that I create high-quality, tech-related videos every day. If you enjoy my content and want to support my work, please stay tuned. I hope you found the video helpful. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.